Test CQ, the Minnesota QSO party, November 0, Hotel Juliet Zulu.
Okay, here we are at Deerfield in October. I believe it's the 17th. And you may not see any more after the introduction because last video that I did got a little less than 500 views. And 2 months later, I went to ARO at Boxborough, did a video there, and I got well over 1,000 views. So I don't think anybody's watching. So you may not see any more than just this. I was not here yesterday. I heard it rain here a little bit, but I was up teaching 4th graders. I had one girl laughing so hard, there were tears coming down her eyes. One of the kids said she was crying, and I went up to her and I said, "What's the matter?" She said, "You got me laughing so hard, I can't stop." And so there were tears coming down her eyes. And I wasn't even talking to her about hams. So why she was laughing? If I had talked to her about ham radio and contesters and people who run nets, then that might have been enough for her to laugh and have tears come down her eyes. So we'll see. If there's anything after this, that'll be great. And if there isn't anything, I hope you enjoyed the Nearfest video that ran 3 minutes. Can I pay cash for these capacitors, or can I charge them?
At this point, it's cash only, but you can charge them once you once you buy them.
Okay, I talked to you earlier and mentioned that I was in a 4th grade class, and the reason I was in a 4th grade class is because I love teaching. And one of the situations I had yesterday, I said to the kids, I said, "Can you give me a contraction?" Now, for those of you that are no code licenses, you might not know what a contraction is, but an example of a contraction would be would, or can't, or couldn't. So I said to the kids, "Can you give me a contraction that starts with C?" And a little girl raised her hand and she says, "Can't." And I said, "Well, if you can't, why did you raise your hand?" And she starts laughing. And another little girl raised her hand and she says, "Can't." And I said, "Well, why did you do that? If you can't do it, why do you keep raising your hand?" Now the first girl is laughing so hard that there are tears coming out of her eyes. So that's just one of the examples that I have and why I'd rather be doing a 4th grade. Now, I had to explain a contraction because some of you who have no code licenses might not know what that is. So that's why I did that. We ran across a no-code ham today. He was looking at a DX60, which is a vintage rig, and of course it's tube type, and he was looking to buy it. And he had a book that said solid state in it, and he thought that it was all solid state. And the fellow that was selling it, his call was W1LSB. And I joked with the guy and I said, "I bet you're on lower sideband all the time." Well, the fellow that was standing there trying to buy the DX60, who thought it was all solid state, he said, "LSB, well, why would he always be on lower sideband?" I said, "Look at his name, look at his call." And he still couldn't figure it out. Now, the final thing I want to say is I want you to notice how many people are here at Deerfield selling. This is a typical example of a lot of the people that are here at Deerfield selling. It's not really a booming day, although the weather's pretty good. But I wound up buying 5 DX60s. I think I bought them all out that were here. They were all selling at good prices. People that run Nearfest do a pretty good job. And I have to thank Carl W1ZCQ, who's helping me out by holding the camera hopefully nice and steady, and it really does look like he's doing a great job. So I want to give credit where it's due. And he's here with a nice QRP station, and I assume he's worked a few stations as long as he's been here. So that's it for now. Okay, this is the end of Nearfest. I didn't find anybody to interview because the subject I chose today was tell me something interesting about ham radio. I also was looking to discuss the Ham Radio Parity Act, but we couldn't find anybody to do that either. I am standing in front of the more heavily used spots in Nearfest, and the weather here was pretty good. It was a little bit cool, and there were some decent bargains to be had. You're not going to see the closing like they usually have, because when I have posted videos up on YouTube, I have found that people stop looking at the closing and the prize giving and all the speeches at the end. So this will be the end, probably one of the more boring ones that I've done, but you don't have to watch it.